exclusive. A suspect in police custody shot in a holding cell and survives.
This happened last year, but tonight 11 Investigates just got the shocking video of the struggle that led to the shooting. Chief Investigator Rick Earl has been going through the video frame by frame, and he's live after speaking to the man's brother, also his attorney, and a use of force specialist.
Yeah, guys, we want to warn you first off that the video is difficult to watch. The whole encounter is less than a minute long. Police body-worn camera shows an intense struggle between an officer and a suspect in a holding cell at the Munhall Police Department. Two Munhall police officers with tasers drawn opened the cell door after the suspect put wet toilet paper on the camera.
Sadly, to some degree, this had to be red lumberjack on. Wasn't beards didn't come as a style till not that long ago, so I wouldn't have had a beard, wouldn't have the scully, but the red lumberjack, that was the style back when I was
apparently upset police wouldn't give him his cell phone again. At first, it appears Chris Alley, who was arrested earlier after allegedly assaulting his girlfriend, is cooperating. Then there's some shoving. When the officer grabs his arm, Alley pulls away, and a struggle ensues. The officer attempts to use his taser, but it hits the ceiling. The other officer fires her taser, but it doesn't work, likely because of his heavy jacket. As they roll over the bench, the officer manages to pull his gun.
Oh, hell
three
no.
shots, hitting Alley in the chest. Alley stands up, but eventually drops to his knees.
First of all, I want to say that this was one of the most egregious uses of just aggressive force that I have ever seen.
I spoke with Alley's attorney, who may file a civil lawsuit, and his brother. They say Alley, who served in the Marine Corps, has had multiple surgeries and still suffers back and leg pain from bullet fragments.
He was unarmed. He was unarmed in a cell. It doesn't get really no more, he's in a cell.
I can't imagine what it's like for a black man to have a cell door open and have a police officer pointing a weapon directly at you. That has to be terrifying. That's not de-escalation.
And they say alcohol may have been a factor, as Alley had been drinking. They also questioned the officer's actions after the shooting.
They didn't check to see how badly they had injured him. In fact, you can see one of the officers dragging him around the cell. It is appalling how they treated this man.
Allegheny County Police say Alley, who has a criminal record, was choking the officer. They charged him with aggravated assault, strangulation, and resisting arrest. And the district attorney cleared the officer.
Now he's going la la land, and I got the gun.
We showed the video to retired Pittsburgh police officer and use of force expert Dave Wright. He says it appears Alley had the officer in an armed triangle hold. Wright showed us that move he says would justify the use of lethal force.
And it makes him lightheaded. He's going to go out if I continue to hold this on him. So that right there could escalate up to the use of deadly force.
But
that's some bullshit. All right, let's jump in real quickly. First off, Chris Alley, shout out to the Chris's of the world. Homie took like 2 taser shots to the back. His lumberjack ain't that thick, so he'd have felt that. And then got shot twice, point blank range, and still was, talking, chilling, you know what I'm saying? Still strong, still, up and about. But you notice how when they shot him, okay, they all up off him now. This didn't, I don't even think he had to escalate to the point where they were fighting in the first place. But let's face it, man, if you're a police officer and you can't handle a situation where you're in a physical altercation with somebody to the point where you have to pull out your gun and they don't have a gun and you have to shoot them, then you shouldn't be a police officer. You should not be a police officer. That's why I always talk about how, you watch the OPLs and the shows like that. You see in some states, all their police officers are big, muscular. You can tell that they all work out regularly. And then you have other, places, other police, districts or precincts that all the police officers are fat, short, slow. To the point where it'd be fairly easy for a criminal to overpower them or outrun them or anything like that. And I really think it should be some sort of, standard when it comes to the physicality of police officers. I almost thought that there was, for some point, to some degree, I thought there was. I thought you had to be a certain height, weight. You had to run so fast. You had to run so far. You had to lift so much weight. I don't even think they cannot be doing that anymore. The police officers we see these days, they be 300-400 pounds, belly hanging over the belt, be shorter than a mug, can't handle nobody, skinny, can't fight nobody. I mean, this is one of them situations, man, where, it should, there's no, if you want to sit there and say that this man who you just told us was drunk, you just told us the man was drunk, and you want to tell us that he's sober enough to put a chokehold on this police officer that would make him go out, and no proof of that. They're too together, too engraced in a combat to tell if he had his arm around his neck to a point to do that chokehold. And the chokehold you're showing us is being done from the back. The dude was on top of Chris. So the only chokehold he could have had was from the front. You know what I'm saying? So that's some bullshit, and ain't nobody accepting that.
Attorney Miller disputes that.
If you look at the video, his arms were in a protective position. He was trying to hold the officer's arms down. They were not, his hands were not around the officer's neck.
Facts.
Very clear.
Liars.
He shouldn't be charged with what he's charged with.
He could have been killed. I feel like there could have been other ways that they could have handled it.
And he says the officers opened the cell door earlier to get Ali's phone with no trouble. He contends the officers could have handcuffed him through a small opening in the cell door before going in, called in backup, or just ignored him.
There are a million things they could have did. All as far as we're hearing is the only thing he did was take some wet paper towel and put it over the camera in the room so they couldn't see. They could have just walked up to the door and looked through the door and seen what he was doing. And he would walk to the door and told them, hey, I just want my, my phone. You know what I'm saying? I want to make a call, whatever. I mean, it's just ridiculous for anybody to sit here and say that there was a good enough reason for this man to pull out his gun and shoot this dude. There was another officer there. He didn't even wait till the other officer intervened before he pulled out his gun and shot. It was just ridiculous, bro. Cops ain't shit sometimes.
Yeah.
Covering a camera with toilet paper does not necessitate having a weapon pointed into your face. I just don't understand how any reasonable person can look at that video and make a determination that he should be charged and that these officers should not be charged with the bodily harm that they caused him.
Now, I reached out to the Munhall police chief, but haven't heard back as of yet. Ali, who remains in jail, is fighting the charges involving that police officer.
Remains in jail? Wait, hold up. What was his initial charges? They tell us what his initial charges was? I missed that. We might have to check out what his initial charges were, but still in jail. He should be in a... Okay, I'm gonna just jump off a cliff and assume, that he's still in jail on the charges that they gave him from the police officer shooting him. Aggravated assault, all that other bullshit. Man, see, that's what I'm saying, man. This blue wall shit is some bullshit, bro. The whole idea that they would shoot this man in the cell when he was unarmed and then concoct a whole bunch of charges they slap him with to keep him in jail so they could be the ones facilitating everything about him, not allowing him to be out in the streets talking. At the very least, he's been talking to the lawyer. His brother's been talking to the lawyer. So somebody's been communicating with the lawyer, but he's in jail. So he's not free. He doesn't have the ability to heal correctly because he's in jail. You can't heal correctly in jail. You know what I'm saying? You would hope that he's in like the medical department, but in most jails, that's just a room that you go in and get checked out and you leave. It's ridiculous, bro.
His trial was supposed to start tomorrow, but it's been delayed now until August.
Delayed his trial. I wonder why. Delayed his trial so they could come up with more ideas, more concoctions to keep them from being held accountable for what that police officer did. That's all it is. Let's keep going.
As for that case involving his girlfriend, Ali's brother says she's refusing to testify, so that may not go anywhere. Live in the studio this evening, Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
Interesting. All right. Thank you, Rick, for that update. And if there's something that you would like our team to look into, you can always send us an email at 11investigates@wpxi.com.
All right, so I queued up because I watched a little bit of this video and I queued it up for pretty much. I wanted y'all to see some of this, not too much. I mean, it's just, check this out real quick. One particular part I want to get to. I said, already tasing. The other one got a gun, taser in his hand too, right? Why this cop ain't using his hands, picking up the taser, trying to tase him? So let's see what we got. He's on top of it. Wow, point blank. All right, so look, he just shot him. Look how the homie is just chilling, bro. Look at it. He just got shot twice, point blank range. Definitely inebriated, probably hired in the mud or something, because how you gonna get shot point blank range and get tased and just be sitting there chilling until, I mean, it's just a late reaction feeling, you know what I'm saying? His body doesn't know that he's gotten shot yet. We understand that, but this is point blank range, bro. You had to shoot him. There was nothing the other cop could have did. You know, there's no other police officers that could have came in the room. There's no training that they gave you as a police officer to subdue this man that was trying to do whatever to escape or whatever he might have been doing. This doesn't make sense. There's no reason that this police officer should have pulled out his gun and shot this man twice. There's no reason. There's another officer there. 4 arms could have been on this man and y'all couldn't stop him. That's what I'm saying. There's got to be some regulation on these police officers to the point where they are strong enough, big enough, or whatever the case may be to subdue a man without shooting him twice, point blank range. Wow.
I got it.
This is where we get that thing where we see, you know, that police officers just did the punks that people that got bullied in high school and all this stuff. That's where we get it from, is the actions of police officers that to do things that just you know, do things in a cowardly way. That's where I can say it. If you're gonna sit there and shoot a man that doesn't have a gun, that's not shooting at you or anything like that, and you have the ability to not shoot him and to do whatever you need to do with the other officer that was there to subdue him, you just pull out your gun and shoot him. It just doesn't make sense. Just shot him twice. Shot him twice, gonna grab his start. Drag him across the floor. You shot him
They can't hear me.
twice.
4752.
4752.
Start medics emergent to my station. Male shot in the cell.
Male shot in the cell. At first I thought she lied and said male shot himself, but she said male shot in cell. So
Yeah. You good?
Listen, I can't breathe.
can't breathe. He got shot twice, bro. Point blank range.
You have that?
I can't breathe. Listen to me, I can't breathe.
Where you going?
Devin, I'm gonna have to let them in. You want other units? You can come up here, non-emergent.
All right, I'm gonna let this goes on with her running around and trying to call people to alert them to the situation that happened at this jail cell. It's just paramount to what we just never understand about police officers is that if you hire a police officer, you never know if he has ulterior motives. Never know if he has biases. You never know if he has an inclination to do something that might be deemed stupid. Because there's no explanation on any level that you would consider and say that if you're a police officer or a correctional officer or whatever the case may be, and you're in a situation where a man has been locked up in a cell, you know he doesn't have any weapons on him because you had to check him before you put him in the cell. No, he doesn't have anything in his possession that could harm you, except his hands, of course. And you have another officer with you, and you're both in that cell with that man, and y'all can't subdue him. That in itself is a problem. That in itself is a problem. That's why I understand that, obviously, and it's got to be precinct to precinct, that some precincts demand that their officers be a certain height, weight, lift a certain amount of weight, be a certain, all of that, just to make sure that they have the ability to, if they're in a dire situation, that they have the ability to break free or subdue the criminal in question to not harm themselves. This is one of them situations where y'all sitting here trying to explain to us that this man had a particular chokehold on this man that led it up to a level of deadly force. And that's some bullshit, bro. There was another officer there. If he had his arms around that officer's neck, the other officer could have pried his arms off or put his arms around the criminal's neck or Chris's neck and then tightened it to the point where Chris would have broke free. You cannot sit here and tell me that the only viable outcome or viable idea that this officer had in his mind to stop this man from fighting with him was to pull out his gun and to shoot him. Because if you're shooting him with the idea that he might die. There's no doubt about it. He ain't shoot him in the leg. I mean, saying she shot him she shot him to the point where you have to understand that this man might have died. And obviously, cop don't care about that because he's in a physical altercation. That's another thing. We never understand that cops, how people react under stressful situations. Honestly, until a person is put into a stressful situation, you don't know how they're going to react. So, are they going to overreact? Are they going to react with the correct amount of reaction to the situation, or are they going to underreact? We almost need our police to not overreact when they're in a dire situation, because if they overact with the fact that they are, in possession of firearms that could kill a person, then people could die. And this could have been a situation for Chris Allen in this situation, but luckily enough, he was, his cognities are strong. A couple shots didn't kill him, but it's hurting. And he's still in jail. Still in jail, hurting from getting shot by this police officer twice. It's crazy. So, let's hope that, this body cam footage is going to help this young man along in this situation. Is going to put more eyes on the ideas that cops do not have the right to just shoot people whenever they get the pleasure to, or, they should put things in a perspective or in a situation where we have to understand that there's going to be dire situations as a police officer, and you kind of got to act in the right level of discretion. All right, guys, I'm gonna let y'all go and get up out of here. I am Chris Surratt. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Car Concierge Show. Please hit the like, share, subscribe button. Hit me in the DMs if you have any questions, and I'm out. Peace.